Welcome to Spirit School. My name is Danielle Sarank, also known as the Squamish Medium. I am the host of your Spirit School, where I will share all the lessons and learnings that I have uncovered through my intuitive development and mediumship development journey. I am a professional psychic and medium, an intuitive teacher and mentor, and I look forward to walking alongside you on this journey. Hello everyone and welcome back to Spirit School. This is a crazy time of the month for people who actually subscribe to the podcast, because I do my weekly podcast and then I do the monthly energies, which is kind of new. I've only done it a couple months now. And then I have my new moon episodes. So it's a bit of a podcast heavy month, but I love doing them. So I'm really happy to be here again and bring in the monthly energies. So how this works for me, because I'm a teacher, I really want to explain how it works. I literally put the intention out to Spirit. I feel like I was called to do these type of podcasts. It's not something that's like part of a strategy of any kind. I literally hear the whispers of my soul and they're saying, you need to do a monthly energies podcast. I'm like, okay, Spirit, I'm not an expert in this, so you need to help me out. And they do every single time. So I literally put my faith, 100% faith into the world of spirit and into the universe and into the higher realms. And I just follow their whispers and trust that everything is going to work out good. So thank you for being here and listening. I've gotten a lot of positive reviews on the forecasts. So I hope what comes through collectively for this month will be of resonance. So this month I was called to pull my typical 3-card spread, which is a Strength Heart Challenge, and then an additional moon card. So that's where I am going to go. So when it came up to asking Spirit, what's the collective strength energy for me? Well, first and foremost, I want to say this is when I put it out earlier, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be recording the podcast on the May energies. I kept over and over and over again hearing the word intense, 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 intense. And really passionate is another, like that's kind of like the same lane as intensity to me, because I wasn't seeing it being necessarily negatively intensing or intenseful. It's actually just passionate. And so you'll find that you may enter conversations with people and they may actually seem confrontational or heated, but really if you step back and take an eagle's view of the energy at hand, it's actually because people are just passionate about what they're talking about. So there's going to be a lot of that coming up. So I wouldn't be surprised if you communicate with people and have a little bit of miscommunications with people. Or if you're more like me and I completely avoid all confrontation at all costs, I just concede. Well, let me tell you, the first card I pulled around the strength was around warrior and being fearless and standing strong. So if you find yourself passionate but holding back your voice because you're avoiding conflict, or you're avoiding coming across as like a know-it-all, or that you sound like you know more than you do, this is an energy coming in saying that the collective strength is to speak up, is to speak your truth, and is to trust that you have something valuable to say and something valuable to offer to any conversation that you find yourself in, no matter how intense. So really push yourself out of that comfort zone, because there's warrior energy all around us this month, really guiding us through this process and through this theme of the month. There's also this feeling of around this warrior energy that comes in about getting really kind of curious about your ancestral linkages. This word that keeps appearing to me too is around sacred. Like I've been hearing it in my head all week. Make it sacred. Make it sacred. So I've been spending some extra time tending to everything I do to add some sacredness to it, whether that's using essential oils or adding crystals or prayer work. So I want to talk about, and I'm just kind of receiving this as I talk, but I want to talk about connecting to your ancestral linkage in some way. Do a little bit of research. Ask your parents or grandparents about a little bit of your cultural history, because with this warrior and the standing strong and this fearless energy, I definitely feel the energy of ancestors around. So right now is a really good time to get curious about that. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of people who really discover something that they find empowering because of the inquiries and the soul searching that they're doing around this. So definitely look into that. And if you're feeling like you don't have a lot of strength to you, just know that this energy is around for the month of May, and you can just call it in. And when I talk about calling it in, I'm just saying, universe, God, angels, whoever you speak to. If you speak to no one, just use energy. Energy, I'm calling in the warrior spirit. I'm calling in the warrior energy. I need a little bit of warrior in me. And it doesn't mean that it's necessarily a fight. There's no, there's not even a fine line. Like, there's no comparison between being a warrior and being a fighter. Okay. It's just about being strong and sovereign and having that agency, and just know that that energy is very much around you. And that's the strength collectively for the month. Okay. You got that warrior spirit there. Now, when it comes to matters of the heart, and I always do the Strength Heart Challenge, when it comes to matters of the heart, I pick up a really flowy and easy and bright and light month. The card I pulled out of Kyle Gray's Angels and Ancestors deck this month was Summer, Bask in Joy and Light. And it's a picture of a bumblebee and a queen bee starting to build her hive and surround herself by her tribe. And what I really pick up around this energy is a little bit of a lightheartedness in relationships and matters of the heart. So I don't know if other people have been feeling like this, but for some reason, I don't know if I should personalize this because it might not 100% be accurate, but I feel like there's been a little bit of a heaviness when it comes around relationships, a little bit of confusion, a little bit of lack of clarity, lack of communication. Again, we're coming out of a month for some reason I feel that had a lot of like non-communication or miscommunication. So this is kind of the month to lighten things up and call in that joy and that light. And wherever you're not feeling light from your partner and that joy from your partner, I don't want to sound all corny, but it's that saying, be the light. Just add light into your own heart, into your own life, and lead by an example when it comes to your relationships, and just watch the energy change around you and find that your partner might be responding to you a little bit differently or lightening up a little bit around you. I also get the sense that some people who will be listening have made a decision to actually end their relationships. I don't know if I'll ever be able to validate that, but that's something that's coming through to me intuitively right now. So you just kind of need to know that with that, I definitely pick up a message around it's about kind of like rebuilding your hive, and just trust that you are the queen bee and that you have everything you need. You have a tribe around you to rebuild your hive in a very good way. I feel very good about it. I feel very good about if you've recently made the decision that you're wanting to kind of like end your relationship. I'm not telling you to, but for some reason, Spirit's bringing this through to me. I feel kind of like light around it. Again, I'm happily married, so this is kind of interesting that this is coming forward to me, but it's really around this energy of just trusting that you're mama bee and that you have everything you need to build a happy hive and a good tribe and community around you. So that's the matters of the heart, and really know and recognize the brightness and the joy and the light in everything that you have with your relationships. And this could also be friendships or parental relationships or relationships with your children. It's a really good time to be light and bright. Now, when it comes to the challenge of the month, I'm like, hey, what's coming up with the challenge? And the challenge is really going to be around setting your sights higher. It's really around getting out of that place of complacency and really striving higher in the skies for your big dreams, okay? And this came up actually with a little bit of the new moon energy, where it was like, sometimes the Taurus energy that comes in. Of course, we're in a month of mostly Taurus right now. Tauruses can be a little bit lazy. And so one thing that came through with the moon forecast was really around make sure that you're not just being like an inactive bystander in your life. this is a really good time to stargaze and to look at limitless possibilities. So one of the challenges is really going to be is getting out of your comfort zone and getting out of what you feel is like safe and secure, and taking a couple risks and trying to dream a bit bigger and dream a bit higher. So with this new moon energy, you can listen to the podcast that will be released on Thursday in a couple days, or if you're listening to the replay, you can just check out New Moon and Taurus energies and ritual. And there's an exercise in there around building an altar, which is really around what do you want to bring in this month? Like, what do you want to manifest? And like dream big and do this anchoring ritual. And what else was I going to say around this that was coming through? There's also this sign I'm getting from the world of spirits saying call them in too. Like, know that a lot of this message that's coming through as well is a lot of people are starting to doubt the intuitive messages that they're receiving from spirit. And I'm going to be doing an episode coming up on claircognizance, which is that clear knowing, which is really spirit inspiration coming to us through a knowing. And so what they're bringing through to me right now is there's a lot of people who are definitely getting more spiritually curious. I don't think you'd be listening to my podcast if you weren't, but it's really around this trust and this faith that you are being communicated with, whether you recognize and identify as a medium or a psychic or intuitive healer or just the spiritually curious. You need to know that spirit is communicating with you. And so you need to call them in, continue to ask for signs, continue to ask for support, and watch that magic come through. Challenge. There's also coming up around the challenge for me. There's going to be a bit of a challenge of this light and dark energy that's coming through. And this actually came up a lot for me this week. I've been seeing a lot of quotes around this, and this is what's coming through, is really loving your dark side, okay? It's really around loving your shadow side and knowing that, you know, if you don't love your shadow, how can you love the light? So there's shadowy things that come up around judgments, preconceived notions. I don't know what I'm saying that, but there's these things that are going to be coming up that kind of ignite your shadow side, and you're going to be judging yourself and saying, but I'm a light worker, how could I judge others like this? Like, I must be unhealed, or I must need more healing. Just know that Spirit's wanting you to be really gentle with yourself here, because what they're saying is a lot of the challenges, people are going to get really stuck in their mind and be really hard on themselves when it comes to their shadowy selves. So anytime that you feel that shadow stuff comes up, and you know, one of my Instagram buddies, her name's Lindsay, and she posted this beautiful quote on her stories yesterday that basically said, the shadows that come up are not the part that need to be ignored, it's the part that actually needs the most love. So really embrace that shadow energy that comes up within you, and just focus and intend on giving that part of yourself more love instead of judging it, instead of beating yourself up about it or giving yourself a hard time. Just sit, take a few deep breaths, observe it from a non-judgmental standpoint and allow it to come in, and then just put some pink light around it. And, you know, I love that Ho'oponopono saying, you know, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. Whenever I'm doing a little bit of shadow work with myself, and I'm covered in shivers as I talk about that, that's what I actually call in, is that Hawaiian prayer of reconciliation. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And that's just showing my shadow. I love you too. I mean, thank you for all the hard work that you do. Without you bringing all this shadowy shit up, I probably wouldn't evolve and grow spiritually. So thank you. Okay, so that's what's coming up as the challenge. I hope that makes sense. And as a collective message, I went to Yasmin Boland, who I love and adore. And for some reason, I think she listens to my podcast. I just kind of put it out there. I think I have like a few listeners in England. I'm like, ooh, I hope it's Yasmin Boland. I love her so much. But her oracle deck, Moonology. And I've never pulled this card, but I pulled it for the collective. I was like, hey, which is like the end note message for the month of May. And I've never pulled this card, and I'm so excited to share it with you all. But it's called the New Moon card. A new start is coming. And so I feel that that this represents that with this new moon that's happening Saturday, this is a huge shift for a lot of people. A lot of people have had these fresh ideas, have had these desires for a new start ever since the new year. And I really think that this is a time that this new start is going to be starting to take place. So I think a lot of people, what may end up happening is that there's going to be a little bit of uprooting, a little bit of drama, a little bit of closure. And for some reason, I don't get the neat and tidy sense. I'm sorry. I wish I could say differently, but this new start is coming. And when I feel into that new start, I'm feeling ease. I'm feeling like a bumpy road is actually leveling out. And I'm actually seeing, the road kind of goes bumpy and then into like gravel, and then it's paved, and then gold. And I see gold at the end of this road. So this to me is a very, not just financial abundance, but it could be spiritual abundance. It could be emotional abundance. It could be, you know what I mean? It could be anything. So just know that I feel like a lot of people will be going through a big shift this month, especially people who are drawn and called to listen to this episode. And I know that I'm speaking to you with that. Just know that the universe and the stars and the moon and the sun are all working in your favor, and they see this new start coming, and you are cosmically supported and loved. Okay? So this is what I picked up around the May energies for everybody, and I hope some or all of it resonated with most of you. These are so fun to do for me, and share it with your friends, and hit me up at squamishmedium at icloud.com or on Instagram at squamishmedium. Let me know how you liked it or if anything made sense, and thanks for listening.